Welcome to the Bags and Bottles podcast. My name is Philip Placencia. This is my wife and co-host Soleil Placencia. Today's guest is James Storseth. I'm excited about today's topic. This is our 5th episode. We're still brand new to this, guys, and we're learning more and more every day. So what we do here is we promote sober living as normal living. We want to talk about all kinds of things as far as alcoholism, addiction, recovery. But today's topic is going to take a little bit of a twist. In the past, we've had guests on that have been affected immediately by being an alcoholic or an addict. That's not the case with James. James is going to share his story today with us, being the son of an alcoholic and how that affected his family and his life and whatnot. And so we'll get into that here in a little bit. But again, thanks for tuning in, guys. We're growing this podcast. And again, we just want to bring awareness to our followers and help everybody and anybody out that is affected by alcoholism and addiction. And we want to be able to create a platform to where we can share some resources to help some people out. So yeah, let's just jump into it, man. Hi.
Hi.
James, appreciate you coming on, man. Like I said before, just be yourself, and we appreciate you coming on. I know that sharing stories, they can get a little personal, but it also takes a lot of courage to share your story. And so thanks again for coming on, and I'll hand it over to my beautiful co-host.
So this is the first time we've done it. The reason why I'm going to ask questions is because me and you are probably in the same parts of the whole thing. So first, tell us about yourself.
So, my name is James Storseth, 39, about to be 40 in May.
Oh, wow.
So, yeah, I'm looking forward to it. I feel like I've learned a lot, I've been through a lot. I think I'm ready for it.
You ready for 40?
Yeah, this will probably be a therapy session for me.
Yeah.
But,
therapy's good.
oh yeah.
Always.
Therapy's real good.
But yeah, born in Sacramento, California, lived in Clovis, New Mexico. Been here in Lubbock, Texas for 12 years and
12 years.
call it home. I'm a
Entrepreneur.
How long have we
yeah.
known you, James? We've known you for about 2 or 3 years.
4 years.
About
4 years.
4. I think
Yeah.
I one of my first big remodel companies I worked
Oh, you
with.
think?
Really?
Yeah.
That's cool, man. That is cool. We do a lot of business with James.
Yeah.
We've been doing business with James for about 4 years now, so
Yeah.
it's been a pleasure.
So James picks up appliances and metal and all kinds of good stuff.
Yeah, tell them what you do, man.
So I haul off appliances for people, and then I fix what I can and resell them, and that's trying to grow that business out and keep it going. And that's what I do.
Respect the hustle.
Yeah, it's been 3 years of my full-time job. Quit my job and started doing it
What were
full-time.
you doing first?
My house kind of all over. I used to work at a sunflower seed plant overnight, and then I would do this during the day as a side.
Yeah.
And then I went to work for a nursery home as a maintenance guy, and I was doing that during the day, so it kind of took away my side hustle.
Yeah.
So I just finally decided to make the decision to just
Do it
quit my
all.
job and focus on that and grow it. It's worked out.
Took a jump?
Yeah,
Took a
man,
leap.
it was the most scary, stressful thing
Yes,
I ever
it
did, but
is.
it has to be done.
That's right, man.
Non-comfortable things are what get you.
The reason you're here is to kind of help, other people, me, myself included. Tell us about your story.
So, I guess it goes back to my mom's story. So, my mom, when she was younger, she was a rape victim. So that was something that kind of carried over to her adult. She didn't, you gotta.
She never truly healed from
She
that.
didn't heal from it. So
Yeah.
she kind of used alcohol as a way to
Escape it.
escape it. So,
Alcohol
But
was her
that's-
numbing.
but that wasn't she grew up, she got married, had 3 kids, went through a divorce, and it was during that divorce that it worked out. My dad kept the boys, my sister went with my mom. My mom didn't have anyone to do, so went back to California, started trying to go to life, just couldn't get there, you know, she just couldn't, she felt like she lost everything at that point, you know, she lost her boy, she lost her family, she lost.
How old was she then?
Let's see, I'm not sure of the exact age of when they divorced. When she was only 42 when she died of alcohol.
She died of alcohol.
Cirrhosis of the liver.
Cirrhosis of the liver.
And it's, 42 years old. That's it. Like, didn't get a chance to find herself again. But
Yeah, that's tough, man. That's young. When mom and dad divorced and she moved back to California, did y'all stay in touch? Was there a relationship there?
the first couple of summers, I would spend my summers out there.
Yeah.
First 3 or 4 years.
Yeah.
And then, you know, it's expensive.
Right.
So, it's something we couldn't carry on, and I think from that point on, she kind of felt like that was it. Like, and she started turning alcohol to
Yeah.
try to escape it, and ultimately, all that does is just takes you away from everything. You just, you know, you lose everything from it. And
Yeah.
she thought she had lost her kids or whatever, and she never got that chance to actually go back and
Yeah.
fix things, make it right, and then
Yeah.
she didn't get that chance.
Did she ever, that you know of, try to get help with her?
You know, with me, I living in Clovis and her in California, I didn't know the whole depths of.
Yeah.
My brother did when he was 18. He went out there to live with her, and he got to see her laying on the ground, passed out, throw up,
Yeah.
crap, whatever it was. Like,
Yeah.
he got to see the dirty of it all, and she got to see the guy. Or he got to see the guy that encouraged her to drink. You know, there's always someone like
Yeah.
that, like, hey, you know, I got something that'll.
Make you feel better.
Yeah, and
And your brother's older than you?
he's 3 years older than me. He's still out in California. We kind of talked about it and dealt with it together. And
That's good, man.
yeah,
That's good. Yeah.
It was a journey. So when I was 15 is kind of early when I knew she was an alcoholic. And that's
That was my
kinda,
next question. How were you
that's-
when you realized?
You know, she would call me, and literally the only question she would ever ask is, how's school? How's school? She would just
Same.
repeat that. And one day I was just mad, and I didn't want nothing to do with her. She wasn't my mom at that point, you know,
Yeah.
kind of just like, I'm done. I was just, you know, there was a lot of anger towards her.
Sure.
For her. And then, you know, a lot of it at the time I didn't understand. Like, I didn't see her side of things.
Right.
As you get older, you start to see and kind of understand, and that's kind of where I'm at now in my journey.
Yeah.
I want to see it from her side and understand that what she was going through is just a loss. So,
Well, man, I commend you for that, bro, because it takes a lot for a person to see things from another perspective, from another person's perspective, especially when you have so many years of just anger and pain and resentment. You know, you just want to see things from your point of view and not be open to, well, you know, why was my mother treating me this way, or why did my mother not pursue me more, you know? And so as you get older, not even older, but as you mature as a person, I think for myself, I think it's healing, you know, to be able to see things from a different lens and try to understand it. You'll never fully understand it, but try to understand it. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So I commend you for that, man. It brings peace and it brings serenity to your life personally, to not fight it all the time. Is it going to be perfect? Nah. Is healing going to be 100%? Nah. It's a daily thing, you know. And so we try to grow as much as we can as a person all the time. At least that's the goal. You know what I'm saying? So.
See, and that's where my side of the story comes from, is just the anger and the hatred and all that.
Yeah.
I just had so much built up inside. It was just,
It
I
is-
never really knew why. You know, I just
Yeah.
kinda knew.
And you're young.
And it
too.
affects you too in your
Yeah.
life, like with your relationships with other people,
Exactly.
personal relationships,
You're
business
away from,
relationships.
you know, you get scared to do things, and
Yeah.
that's kind of when I was, that's the side of the alcohol that someone else causes, you cause the pain to someone else. You know, you pass that on, and it's not a fun experience for anyone. I mean, I know you're, whatever, drunk, high, whatever it is that's numbing you, you think that's what you need in the moment, but it's not at all.
I think that resentment
Do we have
gets,
microphones? Okay.
I think that resentment gets so far that you finally hit a place to where you're like,
I'm tired.
I'm done
Yes.
dealing with this shit, or am I gonna try to help?
Mm-hmm.
So, and I think both are very hard decisions to make. And being 15, 16, 17 years old, there are kids that just fuck you, you know? Like you choose alcohol over me, you choose drugs over me. Why do I have to sit here and be sad about your choices? Or why do I have to sit here and be sad that you're sick? When you don't get up to go to my games, you don't get up to go take me to school, you don't get up. So then it becomes like you grow into this person to where you're like, I need to cut out all this negativity in my life that's draining me. And it sucks when it's your parents or your family or your brother or your sister or your husband or like you're just like, I'm mentally fucking tired.
Exactly. It's like you can only do so much to help someone, but ultimately they have to help themselves. They have to,
Right.
They have
And
to find themselves.
I've honestly learned that the hard way. And I'm sorry that you didn't get to that point to where you could have been like, I want to help you. It's hard.
That's where a lot of my anger came from right there.
Because you
You know, I was 15, cut her out. 4 years later, that's it. She was gone.
Yeah, that's tough.
I never got that chance to actually rebuild it, to have a relationship, to even have a chance. It was just gone.
Yeah.
And that's where a lot of my anger, for years and years, I just held on to it. It just.
So now that you're going to be 40, if you could tell somebody that's in the situation that you were in, what advice could you give them? Like, it's hard to tell the 15 or 16-year-old, like, hey, try to think in an adult mindset, because they don't know how. You don't know
Yeah,
how.
exactly. Because when I found out when I was 19, I found out she died from alcohol. And the first thing I thought was, how
How do you die?
how do you get addicted to alcohol?
Yeah.
It's not the
And you're
alcohol.
19 at that point.
I'm 19, and I am 2 months out of living. Like I'm living on my own,
Yeah.
partying it up. I'm like 19, living the party life, and then
Right.
that just like, whoa. Like my mom died from alcohol. Like, I shouldn't. Like that. Like that just made me not want to drink for the longest time. I'm just like, whoa, because I didn't even know you just like that, just gone.
So did she get, was
This
she
is years
sick?
and years ago.
Like, was she sick and found out she had sclerosis, or she just got sick?
She just got sick. Like, her liver just gave out. Next thing you know, she's in the hospital, and I'm getting a phone call. It says your mom's on her deathbed, and you better go fly out there now and say your goodbyes, because there was nothing. That's it. Like,
Were you able to get out there before she
I did. I made it, and this was another. There's so much pain that I had, and so much anger towards her, that I still like. I went into the hospital bed, and you just see her laying there on the bed. She's yellow because her liver's going out.
Yeah.
She's not even coherent. Like, what do you say? So I just said, love you, Mom, gave her a hug, and I walked out. And that was it.
Yeah.
Like, and I flew back, and the next day she died. And it's
That
not
makes me
something.
sad.
Yeah, no, that's super sad.
As I know,
And so that anger, I held that anger till like 2-3 years ago when I finally was just like, I gotta let it go.
Yeah.
Go.
Yeah.
did you try to seek any like counseling for you, or did you have a support system that helped you with the coping, or is it just something you're fighting yourself, James?
This is kind of, yeah. I told you this will be a therapy session.
Yeah. No,
That's
you're
what
good.
we
You're good.
we want people, and
You know, I
It's hard.
I figured, I don't know, I purposely put myself in a dark room with nothing, and I would just sit there in silence and the dark and just force my brain to think about the things I didn't want to think about.
Meditation.
And yeah.
Yeah.
And in doing that, I faced a lot of my own demons, and a lot of my demons were with my mom, the anger I had towards my mom, and just realizing that every relationship I was ever going to be in, I was fine with just, if it ended because it just
ended.
Yeah, it just ended.
Man, I think that's pretty powerful on your part, because again, like, you didn't have anybody coaching you, you didn't have a mentor, you didn't have a support system. This was something that you dealt with on your own. And first of all, you recognized it. Second, you're like, okay, I got to do something about it. And like, you did it on your own, man. It's not a lot of people can say that. You know, most people are like, I can't do this alone. I got to find some help, whether it's...
And you know, if you need that, that's fine too.
Yeah,
Sometimes
that's fine, for sure.
You're never
Right.
gonna know what it is. Like, it took me forever to realize there was so much anger towards my mom being an alcoholic, my mom just choosing alcohol over me. Like, it just took a lot for me to realize that that's what was wrong with me.
Right.
I mean, a lot of people are not gonna. They know they have anger towards it, but they don't know the extent of how bad it is for me.
Yeah.
So if you need the therapy, get the therapy.
Yeah,
Get
absolutely.
the friend.
Yeah, man. Yeah, get the help however you
If you
can.
need to listen to this, listen to this.
For
This
sure.
is what is going to help
Yeah.
you. Like other people's experience. That's why I wanted to do this. I hope my experience can show other people that alcohol or drugs is not a good. It's not the choice. It's not the way to empty your. It's not the way to drain your brain of your thoughts. You gotta just let it out. You gotta fight it. You gotta.
And that's another thing I was going to tell you too, man, that I'm very proud of what you did is, you know, you could have easily took
The alcohol way.
the easy way out. Like, fuck this. I'm gonna drink. I'm gonna drink my sorrows away. I'm gonna, you know, do some drugs and numb all this pain.
Mm-hmm.
But you flipped it, bro. You flipped the script, and you're like, I'm not doing that. This buck stops with me, you know. So again, man, just I commend you for that, dude, because unfortunately, a lot of people do suffer, and they continue the cycle. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, good job, man. Yeah.
And you think you lost everything, like before the drugs, but it's the drugs that literally make you lose
Right. Yeah.
everything. Your kids, your house, your spouse, your cars, your whatever you have is gone. The most important things in your life are going to be gone because of one thing that you choose over everything. You know, you got to let go of that one thing to enjoy everything.
Yeah.
And then once you let go of that one thing, that's when you realize
Like, I don't need that.
everything is important to you. Like
Yeah.
the little things are the most important things. You know?
Well, you know, I've been a firm believer too, man. Is like, I think a lot of times us as people, we block our blessings. And the way we block our blessings is not dealing with letting go of some of the stuff that we got in our closet.
Mm-hmm.
Anger, fear, resentment, you know, whatever the case may be, you know, like you hold on, you get this chip on your shoulder, you're like just mad at a situation or a person, or if there's a relationship that you had in the past, for instance, you know, your mom, you know, you were so angry at her for so long, you can't navigate through life if you're always fearful, if you're always angry, and it affects, again, like the way you just are as a person. So when you come to that point and when you're like, I gotta let this go because I'm not growing, I'm blocking my blessings.
Mm-hmm.
Like I need some more blessings in my life. So then you start dealing with those things, and not just like physical blessings, bro. I'm talking about like peace and serenity. Like
Oh,
having, like right now in my life, how much peace I have, it's first of all, it's indescribable, and second, you can't put a price tag on it.
exactly.
And that to me is a huge blessing. And that's because of the things that I've taken, the steps that I've taken to work on me and all the shit in my life, and so you have to be able to face those things, and you have to be able to chip away at them in order to. You've got to go through a lot of trauma in order to have some peace
You
in
gotta
your
go
life.
through some shit.
You've got to go through some shit in order to.
But then it teaches you, like, once you have your own kids, your own family, your own spouse, you're like, I don't ever want to put them through what I went through. I don't ever want my kids to see me laying on the ground drunk. I don't ever want them to get a phone call saying that my liver's failing. I don't ever want them. See, and those are hard things to swallow.
Yeah.
Because I think I'm not an alcoholic, but there's a lot of alcoholics in my life. And I think, and this could be mean, but saying like stop drinking, you can cry that over and over and over and over, and for some reason it never registers in their brain. So like you said, it has to be a wake-up call for them to where they're like, I need the help, I want the help, I want to stop. So I've learned like that battle, trying to convince someone to stop drinking or stop doing drugs, that's not the way to say it. We have to say it in a different way now. How can I help you stop drinking? Or what is it that makes you want to drink? Like we have to start questioning it in a different way for them to understand, what am I trying to say? Like, not in a pointing finger way. Like, you need to stop drinking, you're always fucked up. Because then that turns into a thing to where they're like, I'm worthless. I'm not doing shit. And then it just makes them more, the division starts to come.
That's where you start to lose.
So,
Relationships and stuff.
I think I don't even know what you would call people like us, like on the other side of alcoholism or addiction. I know there's a word, because it affects us too when we're walking in the same path as you and we're feeling all the fucking hurricane through the whole thing. Like we're the ones that are left to watch you kill yourself. Like we're watching you kill yourself every day and we can't do anything about it. And that sucks.
Well, I think you can do something about it, and some people go about it in certain ways. You can either, be a pillar of support, or you can be a doormat.
Or you can be the one that ends the cycle.
Yeah, or you be the one that ends the cycle.
Like you said, like you don't want to see your kids going through that.
I sure don't.
And that was me as well. Like so if there's anything I did get out of it, I don't know. My kids are never going to see anything like that. They're never going to experience that. Like, I would do everything in my power to make sure they don't have the anger. They don't have to go see me on my deathbed yelling. Like I don't. Someone's got to be the one to end the cycle.
Yeah.
Man, James, that's a powerful story, and I still feel like there's so much that we didn't cover.
Well, did you want to go over?
We went over most of it.
Did you?
Like James is a natural.
You're good, man. I appreciate it. Again, like it takes a lot to come out and tell your story. And it's not like to shame your mom or anything like that at all.
I did have a lot of I was embarrassed to talk about it. It's not something.
Yeah. It's not something you go about talking about. Hey, my mom died. For my stepmom, I call her my mom. So when I tell stories about my mom, it was like, wait, I thought you said your mom was dead. I'm like, oh, well.
And then you have to go back.
Yeah, and then I had to go back and explain. But that was part of my 15-year-old hatred. I stopped calling my mom, and my stepmom became my mom, and she was there for me.
Yeah.
So I got a blessing out of that.
For sure. Yep.
It's hard to see the silver lining when it's painful.
It is.
It's hard.
the negative part stings a lot more than.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But when you go back and think about, there's always something positive out of something negative. Like if you find
Silver lining, man.
the silver lining,
Yeah.
if you learn something out of something negative, then it's.
There's times where we still sit there and we're like, we don't understand, but we're not meant to understand, because if we understood everything,
I can't fully tell you my mom's story. I can't tell you her deepest, but I know it was a miserable life. I know it was a miserable way to go out. I know it's not. I'm sure that's not what she was dreaming of and when she was a kid with a family, and it wasn't.
that's tough. I mean, I couldn't imagine. I couldn't imagine. I'm 40 years old, and not having my kids would really would probably flip my shit.
No, exactly.
And especially if I didn't have anybody with me, or I didn't have a partner or anyone to help. I mean, I can't even tell you what I would do.
Yeah.
So I can't sit here and say, "Oh, your mom." That's sad. It's a painful thing not to have your kids.
Yeah, life is always going to be a struggle. There's always going to be something.
Life's tough.
Yeah.
But turning to drugs and alcohol is just going to make it a way harder struggle in the long run. If you think it's solving your issues now, you think you're getting away from your thoughts.
Wait till you see what it does to your kids.
Yeah, you just barely started.
Yeah. And that's the thing too about alcoholism and addiction, man. You have a one-track mind. Your one and only goal is to get high, and then when you're coming down, your goal is to figure out how to get high again. And you're not.
And that's why I'm here. I want to tell people you're fucking other people up.
Right.
You're stuck in your one-track mind, and you're fucking other people's lives up.
You're not thinking. You're being inconsiderate.
Yeah.
You know.
I may be an asshole for this, but it's a selfish thing to do.
It's a very selfish thing to do. Absolutely, it's a very selfish thing to do, man. And that's one of the main things you find out about yourself when you do go through recovery. Is an alcoholic and an addict is very self-centered. They just want to take care of the situation now, which is getting high or drunk, right?
Yeah.
They're not thinking about the outcome of all that stuff. And so when you do go through recovery, those things start to come to light. Like, okay, am I having a craving? Well, if I take this drink, I'm not just going to drink. I'm going to get fucked up. If I get fucked up, then that spirals out of control because I'm an addict, I'm an alcoholic, I'm weak, I don't have control over this stuff. This stuff has control over me. So I'm going to go on a binge, and then I'm going to get a fight, and then I'm going to get kicked out, and then my kids are going to see me, So it's absolutely, I'm talking from experience.
Hey man, let it out, man, because it's exactly what it is.
Yeah, man.
It took a long time for us to be like when he would come home from recovery or like from a meeting and to spit the words out himself like, I've been selfish. That's from a prideful person to hear that, like something's got to be going right.
It takes a lot to let it out. It takes a lot to admit it. It takes a lot to
admit. I mean, it takes a lot to admit your wrongdoings when you're a prideful person. That's it. But I think once you get past that stage, it becomes easy to be like, I'm not first anymore. And I don't want to be first anymore. I want my family to be first. I want my kids to be first. I want to do the right thing. So
that's the first step to recovery, right? Admitting you have
a problem.
Yep. Yes, sir.
Yeah, it's admitting it. Once you do, it lets out a little bit, and then you just keep
on
letting out a little more and a little more, and then you're free.
Well, man, this was good. I appreciate you coming on and sharing your story with us and our followers here. Anybody and everybody that's watching, if you're struggling with an alcoholic family member or loved one, reach out. There's help. There's ways. There's different resources that we can get your loved one some help. not just us personally, but there's so many resources, help centers out there, treatment centers.
I didn't know about, what's it called? Is it Al-Anon groups?
Al-Anon, yeah.
Al-Anon groups. Because I fought the other side battle for a long time, to where I'm like trying to convince my brain that this is normal. Like, it's normal for him to do this. It's normal. Like, this is just what we're raised around. This is what it is. But having kids and my daughter, and I'm like, this is not right. So when I found, so there's groups here, the same way that there's AA meetings here, there's, I hope I'm saying it right, Al-Anon groups here for spouses, for kids that are, their members or friends are alcoholics or addicts. They go in and they meet, and you meet people that are in the same position. But so my first step was to join a Facebook group. So I did, and you read those stories, and it's like, it's crazy. Like, and it makes you, it kind of makes you open your eyes a little bit to where you can be a little bit grateful. I'm grateful that you're still here, and I'm grateful that you went to your program. But then you read stories that people have passed away, and they're struggling with their own spouses, and I haven't stepped into one yet personally, like I want to, and I think I have a fear of anxiety for that, because I don't want people, like the way you said, it's kind of like you just put it in, you deal with it. But I think us as on the other side, we have to talk to other people.
Exactly. You're not alone in anything. Like, no matter what you're going
It's
through,
not just
there's
you.
someone else going through the same shit you're going through.
Yes.
If not worse.
Yeah, a lot worse.
Well, James, you got any closing statements you want to share with everybody? Is there anything you want to say before we get out of here?
I just want to say, don't let the hard days win, Like, fight every day. Fight every day and keep going, because you're not going through this alone. Whether it's on the addiction side of it, whether it's on the hateful, seeing the worst of everything side of it, you're not alone in anything in life. There's people out there, there's groups out there, there's thieves that are
helpful
to help spread the word and help spread the message that you can do anything in life. And just stay clean and fight for what you want, and you'll get it.
Yeah. Appreciate it. Maybe you got anything you want to say?
No, that was good.
That was so good, yeah. Thank you guys for tuning in to Bags and Bottles. We'll see you next time. Remember, sober living is normal living. Stay blessed.